Hello my fellow Polly Pocket choking hazards, I'm Mr. Church. In this video we're going to be looking at the abandoned bundle in the item shop, as well as taking a little peek at something that came back, the counterfeit Bottlecap press. Wow, how fun is that? I'm going to be pointing out some stuff you'll want in the greatest hits areas, and I'm going to be showing you some cool stuff that you can do with some of the new items in the abandoned bundle. So first things first, the Nuka-Cola Services bundle is back. Because they fixed the counterfeit Bottlecap press, which was broken. And if you don't know, this thing now generates lead and aluminum instead of aluminum and waste oil like it was doing. It also no longer shares a thing with the wood collector, which means you can place them both now. That was the other thing that was bugged out about them. This is no longer a legacy item. If you're one of the special people that had them, it's over. And if you're not one of the special people, now you can be by getting the Nuka-Cola Services bundle instead of buying them individually, which was way more money. But now let's look at the abandoned bundle, which is actually pretty cool, if I do say so myself. It comes with the abandoned player title prefix, the tow truck power armor station, the dead end sign, the taxidermy snake, the firebrand light set, the abandoned outpost, and the western duster. These are all pretty cool items, and let's look at them one by one. So first, of course, the player prefix is abandoned. You can equip this in your status of your Pip-Boy, and it's just so you can have, you can really live those abandonment fears that you've been working on with your therapist. You can live it in the game now. This is the Western Duster outfit. It is, I don't think this is a new outfit. I don't know. I didn't have it yet, so I can't be sure, but I feel like I've seen it before. Anyway, it's got a nice popped collar on it, which is good. Front and back. It's not a bad outfit. I don't mind it. I probably wouldn't have bought it, but it was in the bundle, so now I have it now. The skull sign is, in my opinion, meh. Wow, that's cool. You know, it's got some, it says dead end, you know, like it says. It has barbed wire on the skull. I don't know. It has good detail to it, but it's just not really my vibe. That's fine. If it's your vibe, that's good, cool. Wow, nice. The taxidermy snake makes no sense. As you guys all know, this is something I've known for my entire life. Rattlesnakes are not native to Western Virginia, okay? Or Eastern Virginia. Or Eastern Western Virginia. There's no rattle fucking snakes in the butt fucking Appalachian Hills. Okay? Like, if you guys want to know why there's a big snake, that's spoilers. Like, go do the quest. Go look around. Use your eyes. But it's not like you're going to have to get a taxidermy of it. Why do we have this? Anyway, that's fine. That's cool. Now, the firebrand light set is actually pretty cool. It has these three items. And I think these are actually really good. They have a lot of good detail. They're kind of rubbish and worn down. And the small one is kind of cool. The medium one actually sinks down a little bit, which means you can adjust the height of it, which is cool. The big one does not do that. The big one has weird flickering on the top of it. I'm not sure why. So keep that in mind if you're going to purchase it. I had a little idea, though, that these pillars, especially the small one, could be used for, support beams in some kind of, weird industrial or even some kind of, brutalist or modern designs, which I think I might mess with later. But this is, just a concept to show you. I didn't, line them up well or anything, but that's something you could do with them if you wanted to. They actually look pretty good at night. There's, a nice warm glow to them. One thing that I don't like about them that I want to point out is you have to walk up and turn them on. And like everything else that functions that way, when you leave the server and go into a new server, they're turned off. So they don't persist. They don't stay on if you want them on. That's so fucking annoying. Now, they've been doing this for a long time. There's the tiki torches that did it, and there was those snake torches, wall-mounted things. It's just so stupid. They need to get that shit fixed. It's terrible. Now for the funny, cool stuff. The tow truck power armor station. This thing is actually really, really cool. I really like this stuff. You know, it's like kind of broken down, busted up, poopy poop. I don't know, but that's cool. Wish I hadn't said it like that. It does spin. The axis for it, the axis, the axes, the where it spins, seems to be on the back of it where the power armor goes. So that's a little annoying if you're trying to like get it oriented the right way. That's stupid. It also doesn't sink down very much into the ground, which means it's easy for this item to float. Obviously, there's ways to sink items down so that they don't do that, but otherwise, if you don't do that, you'll have this floating object in your build, or you have to build a platform to put it on. This is what it looks like when you use it, and the power armor is hanging from it. Now, one thing I do want to point out that no one else is probably going to care about too much, the hooks, they don't actually hook into the little loops. Like, even if you use just like the basic T60 or whatever, which they have these hook holes on the shoulders for exactly this, to hang from chains, and the hooks don't line up with that. So that's a big L in my opinion. With a lot of the skins, it doesn't matter because most of the skins don't have those holes, but if they're gonna have chains hanging down, you should probably have them line up with a 1 power armor that has things to hang from chains with, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. But I think it looks pretty cool, and I like it a lot. But there is a big issue with it because it is a power armor station and not a power armor display. Now, in the picture, you're going to see this, which is really cool looking, right? And you're thinking, oh, wow, I can have that in my camp. No, you really can't, because the problem with displays versus stations is display, you can actually display your power armor. A station, you cannot. You put your stuff down in a station, and unlike Fallout 4, for example, it doesn't stay there. You automatically pick up your power armor after 1 minute, which means if you sit there long enough, it will go back into your inventory. There is no way to make it look like the truck is actually having it hang there. And I think this would have made a really cool power armor display. I would have rather this was a display than a bench, or I would have actually mostly preferred if they had one of each that looked exactly the same, that one was a display and one was a station. Even better than that would be if we could display our power armor in our stations, because one of the best things that I love to do in Fallout 4 is I would put my power armor in the station. It looked cool sitting there because you were working on it. It's cool, right? And it looks cool hanging from the truck, but it just goes away after some time. And I find that to be annoying and unfortunate. And so keep that in mind if you are thinking about getting it to have power armor hanging around in your camp. You can't actually use it in that way. Like, you could put it there and then take some footage or pictures or something, so you could have it in that sense. But it's not going to be there, and it's not going to be in your best build if you want to use it for that or whatever. This is what it looks like when you have it kind of like raised up so that the power armor is hanging down. You can decide what you think about that. I'll leave that up to you. I'm not really going to say anything I'm not going to say anything to make you think like one way or the other. Now, the abandoned Outpost prefab. Now, this is obviously not an outpost. I don't really know what it is, but it's really cool. It's got a lot of really good details, and they actually built it on this cool mound of rock and dirt. And that's significant because they keep putting prefabs on these big concrete slabs, and they just look so stupid and horrible and unimmersive, and I don't end up using most prefabs for that reason. They just look so bad and blocky and terrible. But this one is designed very well. You can sink it down quite a bit too, and so you don't even have to have that rock and shit in your camp. But you can also raise it up if you're on like a little bit of a hill, and it's really good looking. I really like this a lot, and I think that, you know, I complain a lot when they do stupid, ugly shit. So I'm going to also make a big deal when they do something cool that I like. Nice job. It's like I said, there's like one guy that's like working really hard on some of these things. And you can tell when his stuff is in the shop. You can power it up. You can connect it to a power source. And when you do that, any light that you hang from it will be powered. It kind of works like a conduit in that way. It's such a small structure that I probably wouldn't imagine a lot of people would use it for that, but it is an option you have. It's a very small space. Pretty nice, though. You can build 2 of these, and when it's destroyed, it actually doesn't change. The structure of it doesn't change whatsoever. It just catches on fire. It just is burning. And I forgot to mention, by the way, unlike a lot of trucks and cars in the game, when you burn the tow truck, it doesn't have a destroyed model. It just disappears like a lot of floor decor. Now, I saved the best for last, and that is the abandoned outpost door. This thing is really cool, and it comes with the abandoned outpost. So if you just get the outpost, it will come with this door, and I really like it. It's just corrugated metal on this wooden frame. You can, of course, snap it into the outpost. It looks pretty good, right? And that's cool. So why is it the best item? It's a cool door and everything. Well, the thing is about doors is you can place doors on their own. If you just place it in a doorway, change the doorway to a wall, you can then get rid of the wall and leave the door behind. And because this doesn't have like a door handle on it or a window, it's just a square of corrugated metal, which is something I've really wanted for a long time. Like if they just gave us sheets of metal that were rugs and sheets of metal that were wall decor, I would be so happy. But they're obviously not going to do that because that would be cool and we can make cool stuff with it. If you saw my last video, you saw that I made this place anywhere wall using only in-game items, no Atom Shop items whatsoever. So you can actually use that because it comes with a door in it, you can use that as a place anywhere door as well. So you can place that down, get rid of the wall like I just did, get rid of the carpet, and then you have this door sitting alone. You can take that a step further, and I actually have a video where I show how to make place anywhere doors. And I'm going to link this video in the description. It's a really fun it's not fun to make it. It's not fun to make the blueprint. But once it's done and you have it, it's really cool. You can do a lot with it, and it makes building with doors a lot more fun. And in this case, I can use that blueprint to make a wall using just these doors. And it looks so good. And you can use these as walls. You can use them as like scraps of wall if you like put them there and then, you know, destroy it and then build a wall around it. And of course you can lock them so that other people aren't opening them and ruining it. But it's just a really, really good door, and it's a really cool item. And the best part about it is it's just a very basic, scrappy item. So anything like that, you can, it's like giving us, you know, like basic building blocks that we can make cool stuff with. So that is probably my favorite thing out of this whole thing. I love the tow truck, but this door takes the goddamn cake. Before I end the video, I want to point out some stuff in the Greatest Hits. We have Greatest Hits and we have Greatest Hits 2. Greatest Hits 1, by the way, the Atomic Sale is all the stuff that was here last week. But the Greatest Hits 1, there is the Destroyed Camp Bundle, which is actually not a bad building set. Some of this other stuff is kind of poopy, but I don't mind some of it. Some of it's cool. Some of it's cool. Powering Up Bundle. This one comes with the mole rat generators and then some like painted generators and such. I probably wouldn't bother getting that because they have this, which is the mole rat generators, and those are the cool generators from that generator set. I really like these. They're really like crunchy. They're really rustic looking. They're cool. They're on pallets. This one I actually use in a build where I attached it to another truck, and it looks like it's like powering up the machine. But I like they have like moving parts on them, and they look really good. I will warn you that they do have the mole rat sound, because these are actually mole rats running around. So if you hate the sound of mole rats, you won't like these at all, but they are really good. These generators do require attaching wires to power up, unlike the special ones that you can get in the camp area. The utility box fusion generators, which power with radial power. The Flatwoods Monster Paint is pretty cool, honestly. I like it. And the Candle House, this is actually a pretty good prefab. It's one of the ones that isn't on a stupid concrete slab, and like when you sink this down, it actually looks pretty good. I've seen some cool builds using that. In the Greatest Hits 2, the only thing I want to point out is the Triumph Terrace Housing Development Shelter, which they released last summer. Now, I did a whole video on this because I feel like they really fucked this one up. And after that video, they did fix half of it. So the two issues I had was you could only build like in half of the Triumph Terrace area. And there was like this invisible wall. You couldn't go all the way out to the wall. And then the other thing is obviously the lighting is horrific. So as you can see, the lighting is still horrific. They didn't do anything about the lighting. It's still terrible. The contrast is like way too high. And then there's like this really bright flashlight shining on you. And you have like this really sharp defined shadow no matter where you go. And none of the items you build have shadows. And if you go into the house, it doesn't have any shadow. You can see the light is still casting a shadow on me through the wall. If I place down items, they don't have shadows. So the lighting in these shelters are just completely destroyed and terrible. And a weird thing is, items that are like entities in the game, so like the displays, the mannequins, the game classes as NPCs. And then, of course, turrets, which are moving and have health and stuff. These things cast shadows. I cast a shadow, but nothing else in here casts a shadow. So that's ruined still. And by the way, the summer camp shelter, which is also available right now, has the exact same lighting in it. And it's just terrible. And this is something they need to address last summer, okay? And they haven't done it. Now, they did fix the sizing. Like, you can now build all the way out to the edge. You can go all the way to the edge now. But something I just noticed today is if you're in free cam mode, you still have the old boundary. You can't go all the way to the edge in free cam mode. So that's weird. But that kind of helps show you like how bad the old boundary was. This is where you could build to before. So now at least you can halfway build out there. But yeah, it still needs a lot of work. I don't recommend getting the Triumph Terrace Housing Development Shelter. This is like this would have been a really, really cool space if the lighting wasn't so fucked up. And that just makes me really sad because like this could have been a really, really cool shelter. And don't forget to grab your Captain Cosmos outfit. You have 19 hours to look like a fucking orange alien thing. That's good. Hope you do that. And one last thing before I end the video is the Abandoned Mine Bundle is also being shown on the front page. And I want to point this out because this is, I think, one of my favorite wall sets, if not my favorite wall set. It's really good. It has these cool angly walls here, and these ones have special properties. When you burn them, they turn yellow, and so you can kind of intersect stuff with them. They don't have like a solid model to them. And this also has a really cool corrugated metal roof, which they don't show because they're trying to sell you this, so they don't think they should have pictures of it. But it's the corrugated roof that I was using earlier when I was building shit with the door. It has a really cool floor, these boards, and this wallpaper is pretty cool as well. And this stair is really nice, and I actually use it to make a roof in this Curios shop build that I made a couple of years ago. I really like it. It's one of my favorites, and it's in the shop now if you want to get it. I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to my patrons and channel members for your support. Without your support, I really couldn't be doing this, and I really appreciate it. If you're interested in supporting me on Patreon, the link for that will be in the description. I also stream on Twitch. Think about following me on there, but don't think too hard about it. If you're tired of me acting like a YouTuber and saying these YouTuber-y things, consider subscribing, because it'll make me stop. I'll see you guys in the next video.